Finally, just recently released by the IRS, 401k contribution limits and IRA contribution limits as well for 2025. A big change coming. I'll share those details, that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. What's your tax shelter strategy? The contribution that you make to your 401k, your Roth IRAs, call that your tax shelter strategy. Those are different tax shelters as you contribute to them, saving up for your retirement goal, that you get some sort of tax benefits or tax advantage. If you think about it, that decision of how much you contribute to your 401k or Roth IRA, that impacts almost every area of your financial life. There's 6 areas to everyone's financial life, and the amount that you contribute to these tax shelters obviously touches the first area of your financial life, present financial position. That is how you manage your cash flow, and then what your net worth is, how you're building up assets and paying down liabilities, that sort of thing. Clearly touches that. Obviously, it's a tax planning decision, right? As well as an investment decision. You're saving up for retirement. That's the 5th area. And then it has estate planning components as well, or estate planning implications as well. So very clearly, how much you contribute to your retirement accounts, your tax shelter retirement accounts, touches 5 out of the 6 areas of your financial life. And I would argue it can directly, at least indirectly, contribute and touch that 6th area, protection planning. So when the IRS announces, like they just did recently, hey, here are the contribution limits and rules for next year, important to tune into that, so make any adjustments as needed. So here we go, 401k contribution limits and 403b contribution limits for 2025, a slight increase as expected, moving from $23,000 up to $23,500. So not an enormous change. This is not the enormous change that is coming. I'll share that in just a minute, but a small increase that you can contribute a little bit more to your 401k and 403b, an extra $500. For IRAs, those contribution limits are staying the exact same, $7,000, and that's a shared contribution limit between IRA and Roth IRA. Typically, you're going to pick one or the other, but I suppose if you wanted to do a little bit to one, a little bit to the other, maybe you're optimizing tax credits or something like that, the maximum that you can contribute is $7,000. By the way, the catch-up contribution for IRAs, that's staying the same at $1,000. The catch-up contribution for 401ks, that's getting a big facelift to it, but the normal catch-up contribution for 401ks, 403bs, that amount is staying the same as well, $7,500. Those of you with a simple IRA through your employer, those contribution limits also have increased $500. They were $16,000, going up to $16,500 for tax year 2025. Now let's go back to the IRA, Roth IRA specifically. Every single year we've got a handful of clients that are right on the cusp, right on the border of their modified adjusted gross income. Am I allowed to contribute to a Roth IRA or not? In order to contribute to a Roth IRA, again, there's 2 ways to get money into a Roth IRA. You can contribute, you need to have earned income, but in addition to having earned income, paycheck money, your modified adjusted gross income needs to be below a certain threshold, okay? And the IRS changes that threshold every single year with inflation. The other way to get money into a Roth is to do a Roth conversion, and there used to be some tax limits on this. Your adjusted gross income couldn't be above $100,000. They changed that rule over a decade ago, so you could still convert into a Roth IRA. But going back to the modified adjusted gross income phase out limits for contributing to a Roth IRA in 2025. Those expanded a little bit. For single filers, now you can have a modified adjusted gross income up to $150,000 and still contribute the full amount to your Roth IRA. The phase out then lasts for $15,000, and if your adjusted gross income is between that range, between $150,000 and $165,000, you're limited on how much Roth IRA you can contribute, and over $165,000, you're not able to contribute at all. Married filing jointly, moving up to $236,000, between $236,000 and 246. That's a smaller runway. I have no idea. They didn't ask me, but that's the modified adjusted gross income limit or threshold that you need to stay below in order to contribute the full amount or be able to contribute to your Roth IRA in 2025. So what's the big change? Here's the big change in 2025. I've shared this before because it is just confusing. It doesn't make any sense. It's a big change, and you need to get prepared from a cash flow standpoint, and that is a new tier, a new level of catch-up contributions to your 401k and 403b, and this starts in 2025. I mentioned that the contribution limit in 2025 is up to 100% of your income or $23,500, and whichever is lower. And so if you're working part-time and you're only making 15 grand, you can contribute 15 grand in your 401k. But if you're working full-time or you're making well more than that, 23,500 is the new limit. As soon as you turn age 50, you can do another 7,500 on top of that. So as a catch-up contribution, so your total contribution limit once you turn age 50 into your 401k, 403b is 31,000. But there's a new threshold, another tier above and beyond that, starting in 2025 as well, and that is the year you turn age 60. Your catch-up contribution goes up from $7,500 up to $11,250. There's actually a calculation in there, and that formula yields for tax year 2025 $11,250. So instead of the $7,500 catch-up in the year you turn age 60, you can do that higher amount, not $7,500 and $11,250, but just the higher amount, which is $11,250. You can do that in the year you turn 60, year you turn age 61, 62, and 63. The year you turn age 64, this additional tier drops off, and your catch-up contribution moves back down to $7,500 for the year you turn 64 and beyond. So that's the big change. Yes, a little bit of increase that you're able to do, a little bit higher amount into your 401k, 403b, simple IRA, an increase of $500 for those normal contribution amounts. But the big change is this additional tier of catch-up contribution. So work with your certified financial planner on that. What is your tax shelter strategy? Again, it touches just about every area of your financial life. This is a financial planning decision. After you know whether you're contributing enough to hit the maximum amount, you also need to decide, should you do pre-tax or Roth? Even above and beyond that, should you do after-tax contributions, maybe a mega backdoor Roth IRA? These are all parts of your tax shelter strategy. So work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.